In this episode of the Everday Polymath Podcast, we will discuss career transition and how to go about it like a polymath. I'm Keith, your Everyday Polymath, and if you've been listening to the podcast or have read my book, you know this is a topic that I know a lot about. It used to be a joke that every 3 years I'd change careers. It would be the maximum time I would stay anywhere. I've been everything from a policeman to a farmer to a blimp pilot. In most cases, I was doing well in the field, but found that my interests were taking me in a different direction. Essentially, I was feeling like I had learned everything I needed to in order to move on to the next chapter of my life. When I tell my backstory from beginning to present, it all flows logically from one career to the next. You might be at this stage in your life, or perhaps the unfortunate events of 2020 have taken your life's direction on a different course, either organically or by unfortunate events like losing a job due to layoffs or closure. No matter what the reason, I'm going to give you some tips today to help give you some guidance and framework to begin your career transition. As a reminder, don't forget to subscribe to get future podcast episodes when they are released. Everyone has a reason why they either want to or have to change careers. Sometimes this is out of your control, like with the loss of a job. Other times, though, it's a strong feeling that comes to us after a period of events start to wear on us. It could be company-specific issues like new policies, a change in management, job insecurity, or changes in the corporate culture. It could also be larger specific issues that are affecting your industry as a whole, like the COVID-19 pandemic, government policies, new technologies, or the economy. Or it may just be personal issues that relate to your work life, like a loss of passion for what you do, the need to relocate for family reasons, or just a desire and passion to do something else. More times than not, it's a combination of a variety of these reasons that lead a person to want to change their career. You should take some time to think about what your reason is. By acknowledging the reason why you need a change, it will help you make good decisions and keep you from falling into some of the same traps again. Once you see the reasons for your change, you need to decide if this will be a minor or major change for you. It doesn't matter if you're just changing job locations or are moving cross-country to start a completely new career. How you feel about the change is what matters most and is based on your personal experience. No matter how big or small you think this life change is, you need to commit to your decision entirely without hesitation, so take the time to think it over. As a side note, remember the grass isn't always greener. Fully commit to your decision mentally before you're ready to jump ship. As someone who has had a lot of experience in different industries, I can tell you that a lot of the same problems exist no matter where you go or what you're doing. Poor management, unrealistic expectations, lazy coworkers, and out-of-touch leadership exist in every profession. You'll never be able to escape all of these. I have found how you manage your work frustrations and how passionate you are about what you do determines how much you can deal with in this negative work culture. You might have some idea of what your ideal situation would be going forward. Take the time to brainstorm all of the possibilities, and don't just limit yourself to your initial impulses. Your desire to change may be stronger than your ability to see your full potential. You might be selling yourself short on your capabilities and holding yourself back from finding your dream job. Take the time to explore who you are and what you want out of life. Imagine the future you want and explore the possibilities. Do a skills assessment and list all the skills, certifications, and experience you have in both your working and personal life. Also, write down some of the skills you'd like to add to your toolbox or further develop. Next, write down all the jobs or careers you're interested in that you already have the skill set for or can obtain proficiency in. Think about where you would like to work. Is there a particular company? Will you stay where you live or relocate? How will you make this plan come together? Try and look at it from all angles and write it down. Your notes will be useful as you begin to create your plan. I just wanted to take a moment to thank the people at Anchor for putting together such an awesome podcasting tool. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. First off, it's free, so you can launch your podcast with no risk at all and at your own pace. With their incredible creation tools, you can record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. It couldn't be easier. Not to mention, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you can be heard on all of the major platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many, many more. You can even earn money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. If you've been curious about launching your own podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to start today. Coming up with your game plan is both exciting and scary because you have to go from daydreaming about your future to looking at all the realities that come with making it work. I usually look at the big picture first and see how others have managed to get to a similar goal. Following their path, or at least using it for reference, is very helpful. Everyone's journey is different, though. You have to modify and adjust it for what works for you in your situation. In the end, you'll probably find that you need to blaze your own path to get to where you want, as everyone's goals are slightly different. For instance, on my path to becoming an airline pilot, I followed the path of others who have gone before me to get an airline job I thought I had dreamed of. Unfortunately, when I finally made it there, it wasn't quite what I thought it would be. It made me realize that following other people's paths wasn't really for me. I needed to blaze a new path to find the flying job I truly wanted and was a better fit for me. That is when I made my game plan and committed to finding the job of my dreams. You need to consider both your personal and professional life when making such major life changes. Evaluate how your decision will affect those closest to you and garner support. If you're married or in a committed relationship, this should include having your significant other involved with coming up with your game plan. Their support is crucial, and you need to take into account how it will impact your relationship, family life, finances, future plans, etc. Even as a single person, you should take into account how any changes will affect your family and friends. By no means let anyone hold you back from doing what you desire, but it's always good to have the opinion of someone who cares about you to help you sort out the details and see any possible hurdles to overcome ahead. Specific areas to address in your career transition game plan should include your financial situation, your experience and knowledge in the industry, any skills you need to obtain, current opportunities available, your network of contacts in the field, and any sacrifices you'll need to make it a reality. Look at the big picture. Come up with the best and worst case scenarios as you formulate your game plan. Once you've decided on what direction you will go, begin to look at the specifics of how you will execute your plan by evaluating the details and calculating your risk. Most importantly, do a budget and calculate your bills. Eliminate any debt before making any major career changes. You can postpone putting your plan into action for a few weeks or months of paychecks if it means you won't have to stress about bills. The last thing you want are stressful distractions when you're starting a new career. By eliminating financial distractions before you begin, you will allow yourself to concentrate more on your new path, which will help you to be more successful in it. Financial health will always put you in a better position to follow your dreams. Aside from finances, the other huge distraction that can sabotage a career change is not addressing any personal life or lifestyle concerns. Take the time to discuss your ideas with loved ones so you do not surprise them with your decisions. The stress of strained relationships will wear on you and distract you from your goals. Having the support of your loved ones is very helpful to achieving your goals. However, this is not always possible. Some people will get caught up in their own feelings rather than supporting your happiness. In these cases, it may be best to cut ties so as not to preoccupy yourself with the relationship issues. After a lot of thought and planning, your dream of moving on in your career should start to come to life. Follow through on your well-designed scheme and stay flexible to adapt to any unforeseen challenges that are presented to you. You have reinvented yourself. Embrace the new you and enjoy the adventure and excitement of a new start. Remember the lessons you learned from the past, but let go of all the negativity from your prior employment. You have a fresh start. Make the most of all the new opportunities and enjoy the new journey you've begun. If you're thinking about transitioning your career into something new or in the middle of doing so, feel free to reach out to me with any questions or if you need any additional guidance. Good luck. Shout out to everyone out there that is purchasing and reading my book, Becoming an Everyday Polymath. Remember to sign up for the Facebook discussion group or contact me with any of your questions. Remember, the book's available on Amazon exclusively, both in electronic and paperback workbook form. Be sure to subscribe to the Everyday Polymath Podcast so you can be notified when the new episodes are released. Also, don't forget to catch up on our past episodes, available on all the major podcast formats, including Apple Podcast. I'm your host, Keith, hoping you're staying healthy and safe out there. Until next time, stay curious.